How much do you know about Korean culture? In this 11th time, let's take a look at rain gauge. Our people have lived farming since ancient times, so rain that had a great influence on farming was a very important weather phenomenon. Therefore, we had to measure the precipitation whenever it rains. The rain gauge was first built in 4042 during King Sejong's reign, and was used as an official rain gauge during the Joseon dynasty until the early 20th century. The Kumyong rain gauge, built in 1837, is currently the only one left. During the Joseon dynasty, measuring and reporting precipitation was one of the tasks of local officials. At that time, the depth of rainwater permeated the ground was measured, but it was difficult to accurately measure the amount of rain because the degree of rainwater permeated varies depending on the nature and type of land. To solve this problem, rain gauge was invented. According to the records of the Annals of King Sejong, the first person to study and invent the rain gauge was Crown Prince Yi Hyang. In April 1441, worried about the drought, the Crown Prince made a ball of copper and measured the rainwater accumulated in the bowl. 4 months later, court suggested making a bowl of a certain size and placing it on a platform, and measuring the amount when it rains. And the following year, in May 1442, we started to distribute the rain gauge nationwide. A rain gauge was installed in the courtyard of the government office in each province, and local officials measured and reported precipitation up to millimeters. This is the moment when the first weather science system is built. The diameter of the rain gauge is about 14 cm and the height is about 30 cm. If the entrance of the rain gauge is wide, the measurement error increases when the amount of rain is small. And if the entrance is narrow, it is difficult to receive rainwater when the wind blows. The diameter of 14 cm is a scientific figure obtained by repeating the experiments by Munjong. Surprisingly, this is a number that falls within the standard of the diameter of the rain gauge set by the World Meteorological Organization, which reveals the outstanding scientific temperament of our ancestors. The manufacture and use of this rain gauge was the earliest in the world, more than 200 years ahead of Europe. In Europe, in the 17th century, Italy's Castelli first used a rain gauge to measure precipitation, and a few years later, rain gauge was also installed in France and England. 500 years ago, people didn't come up with the idea of taking the amount of rainwater into a certain container and measuring its height. To our modern eyes, the rain gauge seems simple, but in fact, it's a whole new idea. Because rain was directly linked to the survival of the people, the monarch of Joseon worried about their lives, if it didn't rain or if it rained too much. The rain gauge is our precious legacy that contains the king's heart, thinking about the people beyond just measuring the amount of rain.